going to build a barn door. Replacing this door. This barn is 70 years old, post-war barn. I'm replacing the door. This is, I don't know, second, third door that's been on here. I only built it about 5 years ago, but I had this lumber left over, so I used it for this door, and it really was probably a poor choice. Now, I have a lake. There's a big lake about 3 miles that way, and it runs 25 miles. So when the wind comes down from the northwest, which it often does, it comes whipping right across here. So I need this door to block the air from coming in this barn. I backed it up to keep the wind from blowing with OSB, and you can see it just sucked it up. Even though I painted it, it found a way in and sucked water up like a sponge and rotted. So here's another door we have here. Now this was a dairy barn, and as I mentioned, the wind comes down from the northwest quite often. This was built probably 30 years ago, and it's just real simple. It's a piece of plywood, but it pivots in the middle. Let me show you how. Now this was added. In the past we just had a block up there. We have a chain, which the chain is nice because nothing can fall against it and get injured. Okay, and it's just a couple sheets of plywood. And like I say, this door, because of that lake, and this being a dairy farm, to try to keep it warm in here, this door just fits in like that. See? And you get a pretty good seal. You know, and it was cost effective. On a dairy farm, you got to remember, when you do something, you're talking about 100 pounds of milk. Every time you do something, it's 100 pounds of milk. You can't buy grain, you can't even pay yourself. So you got to be economical. Let me show you another door. This barn door here is original to the barn. It was built out of the same tongue and groove white pine. It was used on the siding on the exterior of the barn, and it was a whole flooring upstairs. Same material. Nice thing you can see is it's clear, no knots. Try and buy that today. So this door was built on site, has this primitive latch, had a thing in here that would go in here. You lift it up on this side here, and on this side you could access it like that. It was really nice. I really should repair it, get rid of this, because when this is closed you can't get in from this side. So you'll see this door, because it was tongue and groove, it could sag. So it had to have these diagonal braces. And again, this is all white pine, brought and built on site. Okay, and that's a genuine barn door. Okay, here's some other doors. This is an Amish built shed. It's probably 15 years old. And you know, folks, when you say Amish built, there's no school of Amish where they go. Whatever group of Amish, this is how they decide to build. It's a genuine board and batten, kind of a traditional American style. So you can see they had 3 planks on this side, and they put battens on the inside. Of course, they're a little short on the top because they have to clear that header, and they're short on the bottom for access. Because they're made out of planks, you got to have a diagonal board to prevent it from sagging. And on this one, the diagonal board is here, and you have a really a decorative one, unless it's put in really carefully. And then you have 3 more battens on the exterior, and it's held up with 3 hinges. So that's a cute Amish shed type door. Now essentially, this is the kind of door I want to duplicate. This is on our equipment building. It's the same tongue and groove pine that the barn is built out of. All the siding is all the same tongue and groove. The siding, the flooring, the doors. So it's a tongue and groove white pine, and it's on this so-called barn door track, which has like a ball type in it. And on the back side of this tongue and groove, you'll see at the top It's got a 1x8, 1x8, which is convenient length up. It's a little closer to the bottom, and then along the bottom is a 1x6. Then along the side is a 1x2 to give it strength. So that's what we're going to duplicate. I know everybody loves that farmhouse appeal of having a sliding barn door. The barn door slides. Quite often you have to hold it with a post, or you can have a little roller at the bottom. The traditional barn door, like you think of on your Suburban, that's okay if you keep it under 4 feet. You start getting over 4 to 5 feet on a door that opens, then you have issues with things being in the way, wind, interfering with other doors. So it's just impractical. This sliding door, you can slide it open and leave it open. Another place you'll see the sliding door that comes to mind for me is in an old factory. They have fire doors. Yeah, this is a barn door. Now, as far as getting that farmhouse appeal, I've been in a lot of farmhouses, and the only place I would see a sliding door is on the exterior of the house where there was an attached shed. Farmers don't want sliding doors inside a house. They either have a conventional door, a door like my chicken coop, or a curtain. Old farmers often had curtains separating rooms. Now, if you enjoy the appeal of a barn door inside your home, knock yourself out. But okay, let's go build this tongue and groove pine door. This is a couple of barn door style fire doors on an old building. Got this pile of tongue and groove lumber. I'm going to lay it out and screw it together. There's my boards all laid out, a little bit loose. They're from the big box store. And they don't store them real well, so they end up a little bit warped because they're stored on end. But we'll take care of that. Take your diagonal measurement. Go the other way. It's within 1/2 inch. Close enough for a barn. Width is not as important. It's got to cover the opening on the outside. I'm going to trim off the tongue off the edge. So I left this board back a little bit so I don't have to cut it. I glued this all, just like I have here. Tried to get a little zigzag. Ideally, you want a good coat of paint on it when you're done. Then, because it's what I had, I just used drywall screws. They're a tad bit short, but they're going to work, and having it glued is going to be probably more than adequate because glue would probably hold it. So I put 2 on the end, and then I just zigzagged, getting 2 in each board all the way over here. Then what happened, I didn't really care how tight they fit together when I fit them, however they had to fit. So this outside board was warped a little bit. So to make it work, I had this end put together. I put 1 screw in it, and then I rotated it in using this tie down. That's where I am. Now, what I've done here, I'm not putting this right in the center. What I'm doing is I got a mark right there for 4 feet. And what it does is on the door I'm replacing, I've got a hideaway handle on the inside, a folding handle. So that handle will be below that board. Okay, this is what the door looks like with the 3 braces screwed together. Had my 6-year-old granddaughter run the screw gun. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to take my skill saw and rip it to width. I'm going to take the tongue off this side, and of course the corresponding groove off the other side. But I'll probably dress up the door frame. You can see we have horses. You can see the door frame has been chewed around it. Get a tighter seal. Here in upstate New York, I hate the term upstate because there's so much in New York. All the land mass in New York State is upstate. Like it's a different place. I like to think of this as New York. So where I live we can have windy, cold winters. To the northwest of us, a couple miles, we have a lake. So the wind blows down across that lake and then hits the land, but it hits our property. So we can have some pretty strong winds. So we need to close that door because that's directly facing that direction. So here's my setup to trim the edge of the board. I'm using this as a guide. Really like a wider piece because that might flex a little bit if I lean on it, but it's what I have. It's not that important that it's straight, but it'll look nice. I have to live with it forever. Okay, so I cut groove off this side. I cut the tongue off this side. On the groove side, I didn't go real deep, but it's going to be covered by a board. Now, the top and bottom, I want to say I don't care, but there are some places that are a little uneven. I'm going to trim a 1/4 inch off, and probably on this end too. Okay, so there's my door. I have the pieces on the side here. Okay. And on that side. Okay. So that's pretty much it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint it. But let's take another look here at how we came out. Okay. So I think we kind of know. As a trapezoid, if it comes out close this way, it's 117 3/4. It doesn't really matter if it's square, if you understand, because these are all boards I put together. So there's 100. See that? 118. So it's off by a 1/4 inch. This end, if you remember, I just pushed the boards together and nailed them onto that brace in the back, purlin, whatever. This end, because this board was warped, I had to pull it together with my tie down. So this end got squeezed together pretty tight, and this end didn't. So just for fun. Now, of course, I sawed it, so got a 69-inch door. Now, my goal was 64. And look at that. It came out pretty good. It's off by what, a 32nd? Maybe. So, and the square's off by a 1/4, which means you split it to correct it, so that's off by a little. So, I'm going to be happy. Building it on here. When I put these on the side, I mean, they're not very thick and they're soft wood, but they provide some stiffness. I use my couple bags of 50-pound bags to hold this down, because that was up a little bit, and this corner was up, still up. You can see it moving. But, you know, when I go to paint it, it's going to move some. Let me flip this over so you can see what it looks like on the other side. This will be the inside of the door, and I'll tell you, looking at that brings back memories when this barn had good doors on it, which was a long time ago. But this is a barn door, people. This is a barn door. The cross bracing, I mean, people that wanted tongue and groove is beautiful. You know, why on earth are we still building doors and barns with rough cut lumber and board and batten? You know, I mean, you can get a table saw at a auction and get a dado thing and go to town and make a shiplap, or you don't need those battens. It's just extra lumber. It's more nails and work, and you know, dry your wood before you put it on. But it is what it is. They put it together quick. It's a standard way of building it. But this door is going to be nice. So, like I say, I'll paint it. I painted the door yellow exterior paint. This is how I trimmed out the opening. You can see the siding was kind of ragged. That gets hidden when the door is up. I have a separate video for hanging the door. Here's a wheel that will hold the door shut and a stop for the door. Another pin. And check out my other video on hanging a barn door. Okay, so there you have it. Hanging barn door. Homemade. Continuous track. Okay, so a couple of things I want to show you. It's not completely done, but what I have here is that's a roller, and that's not quite right. It needs to be rebuilt a little bit longer because my door's shorter. Same way on this one, but it's capturing it for now. I put my door handle on here sideways so I could put longer screws in that would capture the side brace in here. My hangers from the old door, the added pieces on the back with the carriage bolts. I cut these bolts off flush. Needs painted the same color as the door. I probably would have liked to hang the door maybe a ½ inch lower, but I'll just have to construct some new rollers. The bottom of the door does cover. It does cover the concrete. And as you can see, that's the added piece right there. You can see how much is below the door. So the door actually is probably about where it belongs. Like I say, it's a compromise with an 8-foot door. So, and on the inside, I put this, it's like a toolbox handle. You know, it goes on the end of a toolbox, you lift it, it's out of the way when you're not using it. So, and the nice thing about that is when the door is open, it clears. And then you can pull it shut like that, and then close it. Okay, and to latch it, because it's a lighter weight door, my other door was heavy so it could just stay, but I put just this in here. It's just a latch. So that'll hold it from Curious Horse pushing it open. This is what it looks like from the inside. Right there. So that's all there is. So I hope everybody enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.